So 6 days after Rare Breed and NAJR won a temporary restraining order against the ATF enforcing the ban of force reset triggers against 3 men in Texas, this happens. Let's go ahead and talk about it. What's up, Wolverines? Welcome back to the channel. My name is John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist, and this is John Crump News, where we discuss two-way issues every day. From cases to laws to rules, we cover it all. If you can do me a huge favor, like, comment, and subscribe. I know it's really annoying that I ask every single time, but it really does help boost my signal through the algorithm. And since we are a gun channel, beating that algorithm is harder than if we were doing stuff like, I don't know, like Funko Pops. So go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Okay, today we're going to be talking about Rare Breed triggers and their FRT-15 trigger. If this seems familiar, about 6 days ago, I put out a video talking about how Rare Breed won a TRO, temporary restraining order, against the ATF from enforcing their rule against 3 men in Texas. That decision was made by a judge named Reed O'Connor, who has a history of making pro-2A decisions. But this case that we're going to be talking about today wasn't in front of Reed O'Connor, and it wasn't in Texas. It was the United States versus Rare Breed triggers, and it was out of Brooklyn, New York. The reason why the government chose Brooklyn, New York is because it's really anti-gun up there in that court system. Okay, so basically what happened is the judge in this case ruled that the federal government was likely to succeed on the merits of the case and issued a temporary injunction against Rare Breed selling the FRT-15 trigger. This decision was 129 pages long, and the judge basically said that the government has carried the burden to prove that the FRT-15 is a machine gun conversion device, and they are likely to succeed on the merits of the case. I do not agree with that, but that's what the judge stated. This means that the sale of FRT-15 triggers across the nation is basically shut down. I know people are going to say that Rare Breed might still sell them because they did sell them after they received a C&D letter from the ATF, but this is a little bit different. This has the power of law behind it, which means that they could be put in jail if they continue selling the FRT-15. So I don't think that they're going to do that. It would be really smart if they did not do that, but who knows? Okay, now let's go ahead and look at the injunction in New York and the TRO in Texas and see what all lines up. Okay, so the ATF won the injunction in New York, and Rare Breed won a TRO in Texas. The TRO in Texas only applies to the 3 named men in the case. So everyone else is not affected by that TRO. Only the 3 named men in the case have the protection of the TRO out of Texas, which means everyone else does not have the same protection. And with this PI out of New York, that is a bad sign for the rest of us. Now Judge O'Connor can issue a PI against the ATF from and taking any enforcement action against everyone. But until that happens, right now, if you have an FRT-15, the government still considers that to be a machine gun conversion device. I do not agree with that, but that is how the government is spinning this. So you might still get a letter saying turn over your FRT-15 or whatnot, or your WOT. And that is something that will probably happen to a lot of people. We know that letters have been going out recently requesting people turn over their FRT-15 triggers and their wide open triggers to the ATF or face their wrath. There has been a couple of people that have been charged with having FRT-15s and WOT triggers, but those were basically add-on charges. They were found to have other machine gun conversion devices, and the ATF found that they had an FRT-15 trigger or a wide open trigger and just tacked that on as well. So we'll have to see what goes on here, but this is not a good sign for the pro-gun community, and it's going to be very interesting to see how Judge O'Connor takes the ruling in New York into consideration when he considers a PI for the whole entire nation. If Judge O'Connor does issue a nationwide PI that affects everyone, that would put him at odds with the Brooklyn District Court. Before this decision came down, I was leaning on the fact that he would probably issue a PI, maybe even a nationwide PI, but right now I am not sure. We'll see what will happen, but this is the expected outcome in New York because that's why the government chose it there, because they knew that they would get a PI in New York. Me, I do not believe that their FRT-15 is a machine gun conversion device because it does not meet the definition of a machine gun conversion device under the National Firearms Act of 1934. You know, the NFA, the direct tax on a right, which should not be legal if you look at Murdoch versus Pennsylvania. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a guy on YouTube, a YouTube personality, I guess you can say. So this is a little bit of a setback here, but it is to be expected. In the end, I do believe that the higher courts are going to rule that the FRT-15 and the WOT and all these other force reset triggers are not machine guns because they are not machine guns. They don't function like a machine gun. They do not turn any semi-automatic rifle into a machine gun. In fact, they're still a semi-automatic rifle. Just like the bump stocks do not convert a firearm into a machine gun, a force reset trigger does not convert a firearm into a machine gun. We're going to win on bump stocks when that does go up to the Supreme Court. I am confident of that, and I think that will have a ripple effect down to FRT-15 triggers. The ATF is way out of bounds with all their new rules and their de facto laws that they are trying to pass, but we'll have to see what the courts say because the courts are a tricky thing. Whenever someone tells you they knew what the courts are going to do, they probably do not know what they are talking about. I can be pretty confident what the court is going to do, but I cannot be 100% sure what the court is going to do because I've seen some weird thing happen. So do I believe that the FRT-15 trigger will eventually be ruled a non-machine gun? Yes, I do. Can I say that with 100% accuracy? Of course I can't. All right, guys, that is it for today. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as I said earlier on in the video. With that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is the sentencing of Justin Irvin and Matthew Hoover in the auto keycard case. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully both guys will get house arrest or something like that. I hope neither one of them get put into the pen, but I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, guys, once I get that, I will let you guys know. But until then, stay ever vigilant, stay ever free, keep it in the fight. I am out of here. Wolverines, motherfucker.